One thing I remember doing around a time when Facebook Marketplace was just kind of getting going, I remember finding deals on ATM machines on there that, business owners that were closing were just literally just letting go to the machines. And, that's something and that was toward the end of, my ATM business. So like that option wasn't there, but I'm like, now, man, if you go on Facebook Marketplace and you know what you're looking for, you can really, really find some, good ATM deals. Now, one thing I'll say, Richie, for everything good I can say about the ATM business, I could probably name you about 5 bad things. What are some of the obstacles that, maybe somebody new watching this saying like, man, I want to, get an ATM route. What are some of the big obstacles they're going to run into?
Well, it's changed a lot in terms of cash access. Being able to get cash from a bank is really hard to do. I remember when I started, you could pull up to a Capital One, pick up $250,000 in 20s, like on the spot. They'd have it ready for you in like 10 minutes. And they'd even need to know you were coming. Nowadays, I mean, you're lucky if you can pull up to a bank branch and get $20,000 in cash. They just don't keep a lot of cash on hand. And so you need to order that cash and have it picked up on a certain day at a certain branch. And so you really have to like forecast what you're going to need in advance. But also, a lot of banks won't touch ATM companies. In fact, most of them won't. There's very, very few. I mean, even here in New Orleans, there's 2 banks that I consider ATM friendly banks. There are other ones that'll do it, but they're going to charge you so much that it's not worth it. I mean, they'll charge you 50 cents or more for every $1,000 of cash that you pick up. And that adds up fast. So it's not worth it.
Yeah, I think I remember like, I had a Capital One account and I think that account was kind of like grandfathered in. But I remember when I'd bring in new guys to be loaders, the bank's giving them all kind of trouble. And I didn't really have an answer for them.
For somebody just starting out today, especially if you don't have a lot of money and you're a hustler and you can go out and really hustle, credit card processing, cash discount credit card processing is probably a better place to start. I mean, you could go make a ton of money with that right now, but it is extremely competitive. Not to say that ATMs aren't competitive, but credit card processing, I mean, Kevin knows because he's doing it now. Everybody and their brother's doing it seems like. So
has COVID affected your business? Absolutely, yes. So what Richie is talking about money being harder to get, it's because of that. They changed some laws where the banks aren't really required to have cash on hand like they used to. Obviously a bunch of supply chain issues with COVID. Do I need an LLC? Look, I'm not an attorney. I do a lot of stuff old school, but I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, an S Corp or an LLC. Richie, you might be a little bit more.
You should have one for sure. I mean, the bank's probably not going to touch you at all if you don't have an LLC.
Yeah. So again, y'all keep the questions coming. We'll answer live as we go. Now, Richie, let's kind of draw out a blueprint. You're somebody watching this, you're 16-year-old, 17-year-old Richie Balmy, you're starting an ATM company and, you have a little cash or maybe you don't have much cash at all. What is kind of your blueprint to them? Like if you could give them like a step-by-step guide, like what would it kind of look like?
Like for starting an ATM business or any unattended business?
No, let's just go ATMs. We're going to get into the credit card stuff.
And the first thing is, start the LLC, get everything set up, learn about the business. Really easy to do nowadays. You can go on YouTube. There's so many free resources. You can join these Facebook groups. There's a bunch of them out there. My favorite one's ATM Business Startups. They can tell you everything you need to know, answer any question you might have. Please don't buy a course and please don't buy an automation program because you are going to waste a lot of money and probably feel pretty bad about it at some point, as we've been seeing over and over and over lately. This idea of quick, easy, turnkey businesses is not a great idea. If it were that easy, that person wouldn't be selling it to you, first off. If they can go out and get really good locations and turnkey the thing for you, why would they sell it to you if it was good? I wouldn't sell it to you if it was good. So don't do that. Don't go that route. It's an expensive, very rough route. Kevin, when you were mentioning the people selling their ATMs on Facebook Marketplace or like the Craigslist of the world, that's where they're coming from. These guys got totally screwed over and spent $12,000 on an ATM from one of these automated programs where they're putting an ATM in a place that does 30 transactions a month and they're not making any money. They're never going to make their money back. So they give up and they take the machine and they sell it on Facebook Marketplace. And so that brings me to the next point, the most important part of your question. You have to go out and get locations. So if you're looking for somebody to do that for you, this really isn't the business for you to get into. If you're looking to buy an automated deal where they're going to give you a location, don't do it. If you're going to use a locator, I don't recommend that. That usually doesn't end well. Like, go get your own locations. Like, get off your ass, or even get on your computer and reach out to people, but get your own locations. If you're too shy to do that, then just don't get in this business, because that's what it comes down to. Because you're gonna get locations that don't do well in any unattended business, and you're gonna have to go find another location to move it to. So if you're afraid to talk to
Richie, you mean to
people,
tell me they're not all going to make 2,000 a month like the
no,
course said? They're not.
no, nowhere close. Nowhere close. Yeah, you'll hear some crazy stuff that these social media guys are pushing out there, saying you're going to make thousands of dollars of passive income. It's turnkey. You don't have to do anything. It's all bullshit. There's a lot you have to do. I mean, it is easier than a lot of other businesses. Surely it's much easier than starting a restaurant. You don't want to do that.
Way easier than starting a
That's
restaurant.
that's a really rough business to be in, but by no means is it meant to be something where you're gonna sit at home and do nothing. It just doesn't work that way. And if that's how you want it to work, go find another business.